morning and welcome back to Pavitrata series on purity. Today, episode 15. Let us start with a few words from the teachings of Raja Yoga. We have discussed these days about purity and purity in thoughts, words, actions, relationships, including in our dreams. And we have seen yesterday how purity is a foundation of truth. Only when we are in our original eternal form of the soul, we are experiencing our truth and we are living in that complete purity. Today, from the teachings of 6th of January 1982, Raja Yoga teachings, you don't like to lead a life that is single and remain alone, do you? You constantly want a companion, do you not? You would never find such a companion or such a company throughout the whole cycle. Therefore, to make the Father your companion means to adopt purity for all time. Purity is very easy for those who remain combined in this way. Purity will become your natural life. There would be no question whether you should remain pure or become pure. So make the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, God, your companion, and purity will become natural. Purity is a life of the spiritual Brahmin, spiritual students. Purity is a donation of life. Your original and eternal form is purity. When you have the awareness that you are originally and eternally a pure soul, it means you have the power of purity. So having the awareness that you are a soul, an eternal soul, that means the power of purity. The original personality of souls who are embodiments of this awareness and embodiments of power is purity. The personality of being influenced by bad company is a personality of impurity. So whenever we are influenced by any company, that is an impurity. So it is easy for your original personality to emerge, or it is easier for your personality of being influenced by bad company to emerge. A life of a spiritual student means to be an easy yogi and to have purity for all time. Purity is a specialty of this birth. Pure thoughts are food for the intellect. Pure vision is the light of the eyes of the spiritual student. Pure actions are the special business of your life. Pure relationships and connections are the code of conduct of your life. Therefore, just consider this. What is the greatness of this life? What is the greatness of our spiritual life? Is it purity or is it not? You don't have to labor to adopt something that is so great. You don't adopt it by force. When you have to labor or use force, it doesn't stay permanently. However, this purity is a blessing for your life. Why should you have to labor and use force for this? It is something that belongs originally to you. No labor in becoming completely pure, as long as the truth is here, the truth that we are souls, the children of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, then purity becomes natural and easy. No need to labor for it. It is something that belongs originally to you. Why should you have to labor to adopt something that is yours? One has to labor to adopt something that doesn't belong to oneself. Impurity, not purity. We have been working very hard for a very long period of time to adopt impurity. Now it is very easy to return to our original eternal dharma, ethics of purity. The Father belongs to you. Vices are foreign to you. The Father's blessing is purity and vices curse is impurity. So why do you adopt something that belongs to vices and is foreign to you? Vices are foreign to you. Do you like something that doesn't belong to you? There is great pride in owning something yourself. Therefore, always remember this. The original form of the self is purity. Your original dharma is purity. That is the first virtue of the soul is purity. Your original home is a pure abode. Your kingdom is a pure kingdom. Your memorial is supremely pure and worthy of regard. The eternal nature of your physical organs is to perform pure actions. Even these physical organs are meant to perform pure action, not impure action. Just by constantly keeping this in your awareness, you will be liberated from having to labor or doing hatha yoga, hard type of yoga. Purity is the breath of our spiritual life. Purity is the greatness of this life. And the foundation of this purity is understanding and experiencing our original eternal form of the soul. In this experience, there is one companion, which is a supreme soul, the supreme father. Keep the father as your companion and purity will be easy. People are asking, how can we have a life where we are single or alone? Does brahmacharya or celibacy or chastity means that we have to live on our own all our life? Our life is never lonely. Our life can be with others, with everyone around us. We can live in a pure marriage. We can live in a household, in the family, with parents, with children, with everyone. From the moment that the soul has awakened to his original eternal form and understands that it's a divine child of God, from that moment on, there is one companion for the soul, and that is God. Is that even possible to feel that you have that companion, the Supreme Father, the Supreme Teacher? There is no one higher than that. There is no better deal that you can make but this deal. The highest friend, the highest teacher, the highest guru, the highest husband, the highest parent is here offering you this deal. Take my company, and there will be so much happiness in your life. Everything will become easy and simple and straightforward. No complications. You can be surrounded by a family of 100 people, but you will feel that everything is so simple and straightforward. You will feel that everything has already been attained. You're not going to have to beg for any respect, any love, any appreciation. You're not going to have to beg for the time of anyone, for the favors of anyone, for the food from anyone. You can be surrounded by the whole world, and your mind and intellect will be connected only with the Supreme One. That is a vow that we are making. Our vow is subtle first, and then brahmacharya, chastity, purity will follow. Our vow is to belong only to one, because this highest companion can give you the highest reward, the highest attainment. There is no better friend than God. Who else can be there at the time of need if not God? Who else can offer all that unconditional love, unconditional support, unconditional friendliness that God can give? Why? Because God is incorporeal. God has access to all the unlimited values and virtues and powers that we all have. Human souls have forgotten their treasures, have forgotten their inheritance. God has always that in his awareness. So he is unconditionally and unlimitedly available to all souls all the time. Now and later and yesterday and tomorrow, God is aware constantly of our nature. He is aware that all of us, we are divine, we are eternal, we are pure. We are always the children of God. He is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Mother, and he is here now to help. What better deal can anyone get? Who else can offer you such a friend? such a support, such a sustenance, such a food and nourishment of happiness. People are desperate to get the friendliness of some VIPs, very important people. People are waiting for hours to see the queen or the king or the president or a prime minister. These are human beings that are subject to impurity and vices. Helplessly, all human souls have been trapped into the trap of body consciousness. Lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego have been haunting the mind of all human beings. There is no one, not a single human being on this planet, guru or teacher or spiritual leader, who has not been affected by the 5 vices. Their offer is limited. The only offer that is unlimited is the offer of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Teacher, the Supreme Friend. He is here as your dear and most beloved one. He is here to offer everything to the soul. He only says, look up to me, orient your intellect and your mind to me, understand that you are a soul, and remember only me. That is all, and you will get all the attainments now and in the future forever. Isn't this the best possible deal? Who else can give you such a deal? On websites, on internet, on Facebook, on Instagram, on social media, on TV, no one can offer you such a deal. No human being, no human soul can give the company that God can give. Then how can we ask, am I going to feel lonely? Am I going to feel alone if I am taking this vow of brahmacharya and chastity and purity? Our purity is a purity of the mind, a mind that connects to God in order to experience our divinity. We are not offering anything to God. God does not need your mind, your intellect, your personality. God is requiring or asking, remain pure, have that mind that can see and understand that you are a soul, and you will experience all the possible treasures. All are yours already. You already are that rich and wise and powerful and loving, eternal being of light. You just have to experience it, just see it. To live a life where your companion is God is very easy. That is called the beginning of solitude. Solitude is desirable. Solitude is the best possible life. Solitude is the aim of all souls who are spiritual. Solitude doesn't mean lonely. Solitude doesn't mean we are not surrounded by people. I can work in the kitchen, in the sound room, in a house with 50 people around me, but there can be solitude. In Hindi, the word is ekant, ekant. Ekant means getting to the end of the one. You can be surrounded by 1,000,000 people and you can still be in solitude. A few quotes about solitude. I care for myself. The more solitary, the more friendless, the more unsustained I am, the more I will respect myself. Charlotte Bronte. If you are lonely when you are alone, you are in a bad company. If you are lonely when you are alone, you are in a bad company. It means you still have some company of some thoughts. Jean-Paul Sartre. Solitude is fine, but you need someone to tell you that solitude is fine. Balzac. It's a joke, but we may need to hear that from others who have been in solitude for a long period of time. Solitude is fine. It is okay to be on your own. It is okay to be without YouTube, social media, Facebook, phone, TV, computer, laptop. It is okay to be without your phone for half an hour in your room, to be in solitude, to meditate and to connect yourself to your eternal original form of the soul and to God. It is fine, Balzac is saying. The more powerful and original a mind is, the more it will incline towards the religion of solitude. Aldous Huxley. This is a new term used, the religion of solitude. It's something new, it's fashionable, it's the latest fashion. If you want to be in the last fashion, the most recent fashion on the planet, be in the Dharma. Dharma means religion, ethics, way of being, of solitude. The Dharma of solitude is the latest fashion. All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. All humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. Blaise Pascal, you have to learn to make friends with yourself. To make friends with ourselves, we have to like our company, but we have to start somewhere. Start today with 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour being on your own company. Switch off the phone, switch off the light, switch off the computer, and just start reflecting. Make the mind quiet and meditate. Start that connection with the highest friend. There is only one person you should be looking to impress, and that is yourself. Our whole life can be spent trying to impress others. If you want to live a life of simplicity, live it without show. Live it only for yourself, without anyone else knowing. The highest effort that we can make is the incognito effort. This effort is not effort. On YouTube is not effort. This is not our effort. Our effort is incognito, invisible. No one should know your effort. You cannot make effort and call a friend and tell them, look how much effort I have done. Make that effort for 1 hour today in silence. Make that commitment, that vow, that I can be connected with my original eternal form of the soul and with God, without having to publish it on Facebook, on social media, on Instagram. The reward will be disproportionately bigger than anything you can receive from any human beings. Solitude is being alone. It is the absence of distractions like people, computers, schoolwork. Solitude can be getting away from everybody. And the reason for solitude is to have a spiritual discipline, alone time. That means to be difficult only if we don't understand what does it mean to be alone. To be alone means to be able to see what is happening in my mind, in my intellect, in my personality, what has to be put right. There is a life of these monks and rishis and sadhus, and the life of these people who have been dedicated decades, some of them their whole life, to live in solitude. And the word monastic comes from monasteros in Greek, and that word means to be alone. That word monastery or monastic or monk all come from the same meaning of being on your own. Monastics commit themselves to a life of simplicity, celibacy, detachment from worldly aims, and the contemplation of God. So monastic or monasteries will be in the Western world, and in the Eastern world, a Hindu monk is called a sannyasi, a sadhu or a swami. The term sadhu appears in Rig Veda and other scripture where it means, so sadhu, this equivalent of a monk in our Eastern traditions, sadhu or swami or sage, Sadhu means straight, right, leading straight to the goal. They are those who are kind, willing, effective, peaceful, secure, good, virtuous, honorable, righteous, noble, depending on where they are. All these good, positive words are associated with those who had the initiative, the courage, the time to take the path of solitude. You can be wherever you are, in your room, with TV, with food, with friends, with work, with everything. Solitude is an internal endeavor. Solitude means that I do not need the support or the sustenance of other human souls. It is the first step towards knowing the self. Only in solitude we can really see ourselves. We can understand our mind. We can understand what is happening in our personality. We can start the change. We can start the transformation. Only in solitude we can go into the depth of one, ekant. We are going into the depth of our original, eternal form. Soul is awakened to that beauty, to that perfection, to that company of God. There is a story of a monk. His name was Anthony, called the Great. He lived in the 2nd century after Christ in Egypt. He was born in a rich family, and when he was very young, a teenager, late teenager years, he decided that he wants to let go of everything and follow the monastic life. So he gave away all his goods, and he went and lived for 15 years in the proximity of other monks. And after that, Anthony decided to live on his own in a place of complete solitude. And he almost as if locked himself down in that place for another 15 years. And he was observing a diet of complete simplicity. Food was never a problem for him. He was eating only bread and water and a little bit of vegetarian things that were given to him in complete solitude, absolutely no one around for 15 years. After 15 years, all these disciples appeared around his place where he was living, asking him to teach them. And for many years, he refused to come out. When he eventually did come out, they were surprised and amazed how well his body was. His body was not showing any signs of renunciation. His face was gleaming with happiness. His eyes were intoxicated with God. He was victorious. He did give another 15 years to teach all the others. And after that, he went back into his solitude for 40 years. Anthony the Great was called a saint in Christianity. It is his example that shows us that when you really are determined to live by your own rules and by your own principles, the body will be well. Your face will be gleaming with happiness. You are able to be on your own and you are able to be with others. You will be respected by others. Others will really look for your company if you are truthful to yourself. First, be truthful to who you truly are. Know yourself and know God, and then everyone will want to be in your company. As long as you don't want the company of others, everyone will want your company. And such a long life is possible without any fear for the sustenance of the body. The body needs a little bit of food, but a lot of love of God. The body needs a lot of awareness that we are souls and we are not these bodies. So the foundation of purity, the foundation of brahmacharya, is keeping the company of only one, the supreme friend, the supreme parent. Om Shanti. Thank you for listening. Finish with a song.